Surprise factor again.
I think we have what it takes in this lineup to be one of the best.
Honestly, I think going into next year, where we have a lot more practice and more routines in the team and stuff, it will help us. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next year as well. But let's finish up this year in style.
For us, during this World Final, we just really want to play against NAVI again in the grand final and maybe beat them for the first time, because all the finals that we did, it was almost every match it's against NAVI and we almost beat them. Unfortunately, it's not gonna be in arena like the last time we just did, and it's kinda sad, not gonna lie, because the feeling that we have playing in front of the crowd, and I remember, it's just amazing. So yeah, all we wanted to do is having good results together, and it feels like having more experience from me and Kyojin, having like more tournament on LAN, and everyone, Zaiwu, Apex, Shocks, wanted really to be back on LAN and play in front of the crowd in arena. So I remember that we really enjoyed and everything was working out for us. It was a good moment. This year our biggest achievement is for sure EM Winter. That it was a very like a consecration for us to finally win a tournament after like 3 finals. We were really happy to take that spot.
I think like our main goal coming into 2021 was to rebuild like our entire system now that we had Nico.
We didn't have any expectations. For us it was the most important that we have stability and that we are like consistent team at the beginning, and it wasn't easy honestly, and at the beginning it was really tough.
We were changing a lot of things, trying to find like the perfect fit, the perfect combination. Like we were swapping around after we replaced Kenny. Like we didn't know who was going to be the primary opera. Like we didn't really know like how to fit everyone in the proper roles, or how to make a system. Like who do we want our main star players to be, who do we want to play around. Chemistry is something, and atmosphere in the team is something that is forcing us to work even more, because we are really good friends. We are like a family in the team, and it was always like that since I joined G2. Honestly, 2022, I'm still unsure. I don't know what the final roster is going to be, but I mean, it's no longer a speculation, like some changes will be made. I think this is kind of like our last event with these 5 guys together, so I'm still unsure like what will happen in the next year. I mean, you heard a lot of rumors and everything. People are writing about changes. Some of them are true, some of them are not. So we don't think too much about now expectations for 2022, but after this event, when we finish, we'll sit down and see what's the plan, who will play at the end for the team, and we'll see what we can do for the next year. At the end of the day, I think like the change is needed, and you know it's going to happen whether we want it or not.
You know, right now our team is like good mechanism for us, because you know, everyone individually have the great aim and great understanding of the team.
We are all really motivated to be a #1 team in the world. All our players are really ambitious, and we want to build our era, and we know that it's not an easy goal.
Of course, to win the major is giving the lot confident. Like we don't have majors for 2 years, I think, and you're playing a lot of matches like on every tournament, and you can teach how to play versus every team and analyze it. We're one of team who analyzing a lot.
So I always say about that when you win somebody 1 or 2 times, you gain knowledge, you gain experience how to beat these teams. When you meet them next time, it's not like you believing that you can win them, you just know that you can win them. It's a really important factor.
And we're doing a lot of work, like we have the mental coaches, we're sitting on bootcamp for 1 month, like 2 times in 1 year maybe.
It gives us like, for example, 5–10%, something that we needed to overplay other teams.
New year and new goals, you know, so I think we never want to stop You know, we want to continue this winning tournaments, and our goals in second Grand Slam, second major, and like to be the real #1 and make our history.
The competition continues to get even more cutthroat. Two teams already sliced from the competition, and now two more flags will fall as we enter day 4 here of the BLAST World Finals. My name is Ferris Spears, your host for the duration of the event. Of course, I've got my star-studded analysts up here with me, Janko and Pimp. We've had matches that have been delivering so far this week, and today is an even more special treat as we're delving into it.
Yeah, we got a lot of good Counter-Strike at hand today, and we have had a lot of good Counter-Strike at hand throughout this week so far. But Astralis taking on Team Liquid, that's a historic matchup for many reasons. And of course, G2 against NAVI with some of the best players in the world taking each other on the server. I cannot wait for this one.
Yeah, the rematch of the grand final, and one of the best matches we had over the last couple of years, really, with Astralis and Team Liquid, should be a fun one.
Yeah, a lot to be getting on with today, but we do need to take a quick recap of exactly what happened yesterday, just in case you guys missed out on any of the action. And there was a lot of it going down yesterday, 3 best-of-3s, and we started off with that elimination match. We see NIP unfortunately getting cut from the competition.
It wasn't pretty from Astralis, but they got the job done. They won that game after a nice comeback on the 3rd deciding map. NIP had great honor in it. They played with Fusi as well coming into this tournament, having 0 expectations whatsoever. So the fact that Astralis had to struggle that much and NIP leaving with such a positive insight was kind of surprising to me.
Yeah, and so far this tournament, we've seen the two teams coming in with standards unfortunately being eliminated, so some sort of order being restored. But then we look at this next matchup. We weren't expecting Team Liquid to be in this position, and they actually put up a valiant effort up until that final map.
Yeah, it wasn't just a one-off in the NAVI game. Really, they faced another CIS team in Gambit. That first map was really close, Inferno 16-14, right? Could have been a 2-0 for Team Liquid, but Gambit just found another gear on overpass and ran over.
Yeah, it's really great to see them turning up on LAN as well. And then we move into that 3rd and final game of the day. We thought this one potentially, was going to be going to the 3 maps as well, but Vitality clearly had somewhere to be last night.
Yeah, it felt like it, right? Vitality is just getting better and better every single time they join the server. And you also saw what happens with G2 when Nico apparently is not putting up a 1.3 rating. He put up a 1.14, which is for his standard terrible. And when without him playing well, G2 lack a bit of that firepower, lack a bit of that X factor to take on Saivu and take on Vitality.
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot more of them coming up today, but we do need to take a recap of our CS Money Play of the Day for day number 3 here at the World Finals. You guys have been voting over on Twitter. What we got coming at number 3?
Number 3, we have Inters, very few highlights from him in general, being the support player of Gambit, but here he had a great hold on the A bomb side, getting a 4K against Team Liquid.
Yeah, bringing us to NAV, who's doing stuff that you're not supposed to do and you're not allowed to do in Counter-Strike, warbanging people without having no idea what on earth is going on. Not only 1, but 2 warbangs here in Vertigo in a very important round as well. They're down 3v5. NAV is holding no prisoners, taking the ace as well. 2 kills and finishing it off in style. NAV is back at his best.
And really, with no surprise, BlameF wins this one with a 1v6 pretty much. He was killing everything in his path. I don't know what was going on with him in this series. He was just he had multiple team kills. He was dinking his teammates, but I think he made it up. He made up for it in this round.
Yeah, he almost seemed to be kind of magnetized to some of his teammates' head as well. But yeah, a thoroughly deserved player of the day, day number 3, courtesy of CS Money. We can also take a look at the bracket to see exactly what the standings are looking like, considering, you know, we've had those 2 teams eliminated. Now it becomes Elimination Friday, I guess maybe we'll coin this day, Pimp?
Yeah, let's say that it's starting to shape up now, right? We have that upper bracket game waiting for us tomorrow. Today it's all about eliminating teams, and that match between NAVI and G2, the Astralis Liquid, you know, it's just quality all over it, and that's how it's supposed to be. Last tournament of the year with the BLAST Global Finals, and honestly, it's been delivering.
Any big surprises for you thus far, Janko? Anything really standing out?
I mean, outside of the NAVI Liquid game, right, which was the first one, there's always going to be an upset in those opening games. This time it was Team Liquid taking. Other than that, it was really going more or less according to script.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about what Team Liquid are going to be facing up against Astralis. Unfortunately, losing out against Gambit yesterday, that pushes them down into this lower bracket. And we're shaping today up, I guess it's quite historic matches, but for kind of 2 different reasons, because this is a story, you know, almost as old as Counter-Strike time.
It is, and it's the last time we're going to see this matchup, you know, go toe-to-toe. I know there's been some changes. It's not the same iterations of the lineups we saw a couple of years ago, but the historic matchup between Astralis and Liquid, the Astralis that won everything, the Astralis that bullied them in every single final they went in. I think Elise and I think Stu2K and I think NAV for that matter as well is super motivated to stick it to Astralis today and, you know, give the final punch.
It was the historic matchup that Astralis has dominated, but the last time these 2 teams met, just 2 weeks ago at IEM, Liquid had a comfortable win. So this new Astralis lineup, the new guys, they want some revenge for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, they definitely do. None of us picked Astralis in our predictions either. Mistakes?
Yeah.
Regrets?
Yeah, I did a smart play. You know, if Astralis win, I'm happy. If they lose, I'm right. So
you're never happy, Pimp. So, no, I think, I don't know. It's just they weren't convincing even in their win against NIP, and Liquid looked good even in the loss, except for that one map, of course. But we'll have to wait and see.
Well, just moving on to our first game of the day that we're going to be seeing, G2 versus NAVI. Of course, really historic in terms of the fact that we're having this major rematch again.
For sure. And I mean, it's 2 teams who's been... Of course, in Navi's case, they've been delivering and firing on all cylinders, right? To have simple win tournaments, you know, like he's doing it as he's supposed to. It's been a while since Simple has been at a level right now where he's playing so well and his team is also winning. It's just been a nice year for Navi overall. Whereas for G2, we had the discussion yesterday as well. It's been so close, and it's been the story of G2 for ever since they almost got created as a team. They are getting closer and closer, but they're not there yet. And they're also talking about roster changes in order to get that step even closer to win championships.
Yeah, always the bridesmaid, never the bride for the side of G2.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, they've also come up in an era where Navi has just found the perfect team for them, and I think for Simple, he's finally come to a point where he's obviously playing great. He's the best player in the world for this year, but he doesn't have to be lights out every single time they play for his team to win games. Now he has a supporting cast around, and that's actually when they do their own jobs, that's enough. The system is also there, and that's how they win games. While for G2, it's still down to Nico having to have really a lights out game to get them some wins against top tier opposition.
Well, we need to see exactly how it goes down in our first game of the day here at the World Finals. We're rolling back the clock one last time to that major grand final. For one team, it will be their last. G2 are taking on NAVI, and you don't want to miss it. A rematch for the ages and a chance for sweet revenge. The major grand finals where the Kings claimed their crown, and now a golden chance for G2 to make a dent in it. But it will be a tough challenge. Sure, we've seen that NAVI can bleed at this tournament, but for G2, this is probably the toughest opposition they will be facing here at the World Finals.
Without a doubt, you know, they already now in the lower bracket face the final boss, so to speak, or at least the team everyone thought was going to be the final boss. We have seen a bit of weaknesses coming out of NAVI. Of course, losing to Liquid was not pretty, but once in a while, you know, you have those games where nothing is working. And we did see them bounce back, you know, in game number 2. So if you're G2 right now, I think you're going into this game with the mentality that unless you're playing your best brand of Counter-Strike, there's no way you win against NAVI.
And this is the difficulty when we're looking at G2, because it's been a bit of a bumpy road for them to even get to this point of facing NAVI.
Yeah, it has been rough for G2 in this tournament. I think it's really hurt. You have to remember, okay, the Nexa Kenny S thing, the last official Nexa played up until this tournament was the major grand final. Like, they weren't there at the BLAST Fall Final. Yeah. So even if he was practicing with them, for example, you know, for a little bit more, just the rust in not being in an official environment, I think it definitely shows here. And G2 at this tournament has not displayed the level we saw from them at the major.
And we need to talk about this grand final, the rematch of the PGL Stockholm major, because there's one moment I think we'll all have on our minds coming off of that.
What could it be?
Yeah, I don't know, really. What do you think it is?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this one. Look away now, Janko. Maybe you need to cover your eyes.
At CSGO, it's fixed game. No, I mean, it's just unfortunate. Obviously, the Eagle round from 15-12, right when they were in a 2v2 situation. Nico makes a great flank, really, but his Deagle for the one time in his life betrays him.
If anything, it sets up a great rivalry, right? It's simple killing Nico. It's Nico, of course, missing a moment here that could have been career-defining for him, but he still played a fantastic game. And you know Nico better than I do, but if I know Nico right, that is only a motivation for him right there. He wants to prove that obviously the Deagle is dumb, but also the fact that he can win a game against NAVI.
I think we do need to delve into that match a little bit more, specifically on Nuke as well, because when we look at the round history for this specific map, there was a moment, there was a shining light, there was a chance for G2 to be closing this one out.
Listen, of course, everyone remembers that this round will never be forgotten, probably, right, in the grand scheme of things. But I want to turn your attention to the second half. Who wins the pistol round? G2. What happens in the second round? They lose it. And that was like the turning point almost, right? That's what's been haunting G2 this whole year, in a sense of if they had that good start, you could see they won some gun rounds after that. It wouldn't have come to round, 28 where this thing happens. They would have just closed it out sooner. So yeah, obviously that was still a chance for them to win 16-2, take it into a third, but there were other things that were plaguing them in this series, really, that could have helped them end the game earlier.
How many times have we had that conversation? G2 and their second round. They need to fix that and need to fix it ASAP. And I haven't seen any change in that in some time. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna pan out in this game. Another thing we of course need to discuss is Nico's crazy last months. Right now, Nico is, in my understanding, the most influential Counter-Strike player in the world. Whether he's the best or not, I think we can argue from now on until next year for that matter.